Time now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Jay's Sporting Goods, the Yider Insurance Group, Forward Corporation and T.R. McTaggart, Angler Quest Boats, Security Credit Union, Garber Chevrolet, and by Michigan Brand Meats. Now, here's Mike Avery.
Well, thank you, Ken Hunter. I do appreciate that, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network, AM and FM stations across the great state of Michigan, with the goal of talking about the great outdoors, the history and tradition of the great outdoors, hunting and fishing, shooting, trapping, wildlife issues, conservation issues. Sometimes we talk about wildlife management. One thing I try to avoid is conflict. I try to avoid fighting. Because you know what? When we're outdoors, we don't want to deal with that stuff. I mean, there are so many things in this world these days, especially in this year of 2020, that we're in an election year, and a COVID year, and everything else, that we're constantly bombarded by a lot of bad news, but news that just tends to wear us down over time. It's like, no, not anymore. So no, I don't, not again. And I don't want to talk about those things. I don't want to deal with those things. I don't even want to think about those things. So how do I recharge? How do I try to stay on an even keel as much as possible? I turn to the outdoors. And why do I turn to the outdoors? I turn to the outdoors because this is the way that I was raised. I was raised in a hunting and fishing and shooting family. And my dad was a trapper. I've never been a trapper, but my dad was. So this is my frame of reference. This is how, in many ways, this is how I relate to the world. Let me think about that for a minute. How do I relate to the world? I relate to the world as a husband, a dad, a grandpa, a Christian, and an outdoorsman. Those are my points of reference. That's how I look at things. And to get outdoors and to refresh your mind and clear your mind, I think is more important than ever. And I'm not alone in this, because we are seeing a very strong resurgence of interest in the outdoors this fall. And I for the reasons I'm talking about, I think. I mean, how can you be stressed sitting in a duck marsh, sitting in a tree stand, out on the water, especially this fall? Can you believe how beautiful and vibrant the colors are this fall? Phenomenal. The best I can remember in years. And here's my question. Why is that? And this is a serious question, because I don't know the answer to this. Why are the colors so absolutely beautiful this year? Now, we're on the downhill side of this, especially in the northern part of the state. But there are still, it's just, I was sitting in a tree stand the other night, just looking around, and I kept taking pictures and shooting video. It was just breathtakingly, overwhelmingly beautiful. And that's one of the reasons fall is such a great time of year, I think. The month of Rocktober, the rock and roll month. Speaking of that tree stand, you know what? I got to be honest. That is something I have not done in years. I have not hunted from a tree stand with a bow in my hand for deer in probably, I can't even remember. And there were a few reasons for that. Number one, when I was 100 pounds heavier, I didn't feel like climbing up a tree stand, right? Now, I'm still not agile or nimble by any stretch, but getting up in a tree stand is no longer a problem for me. But I'm very selective in the stands that I will hunt out of, even back when I was hunting tree stands a lot. Because I don't like heights. I really don't. And you know, I go back to my saying that I say every week, there are two types of tree stand hunters, those who have fallen and those who will. So I won't go up a tree without a full body harness. I will not go up a tree without a lifeline. And a lifeline is a rope that's attached to the tree above the stand. It goes down to the ground. You hook into that when you're on the ground. You slide the connection, the Prusik knot, up the lifeline till you get into your stand. You stay hooked into that while you're in the stand. And then as you come back down to the ground, you slide the connection down with you. It's as safe as can be. Even if you fell, you wouldn't hit the ground. So those are my criteria. But I was hunting out of a Primal tree stand. Now, I do work with Primal, and you know I love those Primal Wraith 270 see-through ground blinds. But to be honest, I hadn't had a lot of experience out of their Primal tree stands. Last week, my son James and his buddy Robbie and I got some last-minute access to some deer hunting property, and I'm considering this a huge blessing because it's really starting to rekindle my interest in deer hunting. So James and I went out last week, and we put up a couple of these ladder stands. And it is a two-man job. Even a single stand is a two-man job. But I love these stands because as you lean them up against the tree, there's a system there where you can pull on a nylon strap, and it tightens the jaws around the tree. So you get a pretty good grip on that tree while you're still on the ground. And then, of course, you can get up there and, strap the stand into the tree and make it incredibly sturdy. And then on the back side of the ladder, there's this truss system. And it's like an engineering marvel. Even my son James said he's never sat in a tree stand that was so solid before. You know how the aluminum ladders on tree stands tend to be a little bit, there's some movement in them. They're strong, but there's some movement in them. Well, this truss system on the back of this ladder strengthens that and makes that ladder rock solid. And I don't feel like I will never hunt out of another tree stand again now that I've sat in one of these Primal stands. Really very impressive. But the access to this property and the fact that I can now go out deer hunting any evening or any morning that I want is really helping me to get back this interest in deer hunting that I have been missing for the last few years. Can I say it's a passion at this point? No, not like walleye fishing or turkey hunting or bear hunting is for me. But the interest has been renewed, and that's what I was looking for. So I think number one, having that recurve in my hand has helped me a lot. Now having some access to some property to hunt has helped me a lot. And as I was sitting up in that stand the other day, I could feel it coming back. And I never saw a deer that night. Now, I did have to call it quits early because there was a huge line of thunderstorms coming in. And I wasn't that I was afraid of getting wet. I don't mind getting wet. But I was, judging from the sound of the thunder off to the west, the look of the clouds, and I peeked at my phone and saw the radar, I said, this is going to be a pretty intense storm. And I had decided at that point, even if a huge buck walked in front of me, and I'm not buck hunting, I still want to shoot a big doe with my recurve. That's my goal. I thought even if a great big old mature swamp donkey walks in front of me, I'm not going to take a shot because I don't want to lose the blood trail in the downpour that I know is coming. But to be back out there felt pretty darn good. And we've got a couple ladder stands set up. We've got a couple of those Wraith see-through ground blinds set up for the kids, and maybe for me too. I really want to take my grandson Carter out there. My grandson Trent has been hunting out there, and he's seeing deer every night. So I'm starting to get it back, and I'm pretty excited about it. Pretty excited about it. Would I pass up a nice buck if it walked in front of me? No. Would I pass up a 1.5-year-old buck? Yeah. Do I encourage you to pass up a 1.5-year-old buck? Only if you want to. Only if you want to. And then, of course, it wasn't that night, but the next night I come home. I live in town. Not a big town, not a big city, but a small city. But I live on the edge of town. I'm coming home just about dark, and on the street, crossing the street in front of my house, is a great big, huge, mature heavy racked city buck. Isn't it amazing the types of wildlife we see in the cities, the turkeys, the coyotes, the fox, the deer, they're so adaptable. And when we get those areas where there are such a population, oh my gosh, the NRA is calling me. I support the NRA, but quit calling me asking me for money. I paid my dues. I gave you a little extra. I even bought a membership for my daughter. Quit asking me for more money. If you need more money from me, charge more for the membership, but stop calling me and asking me for money. The Outdoor Magazine family lost a friend this week. Personal friend of mine and a big friend of the show. Nels Larson. Nels was a proud Navy vet. He was a Vietnam vet, and he was the founder of Walleye for Warriors. Nels touched so many veterans, so many lives over the years through his Walleye for Warriors event. He will be dearly missed. He was a great man. My condolences to his family, my prayers for his family, but you know what? Nels was a good Christian man, so he is in a better place. So Nels is running the victory lap right now. So don't be sad for Nels. Be happy for Nels, but pray for his family and think about his family. Nels Larson, founder of Walleye for Warriors, passed away this week after a very courageous battle. We'll take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine show. When we come back, George Widmeyer of Savage Dog Outdoors talks about a close encounter his crew had with a pack of wolves in the UP. Coming up after the break right here on Outdoor Magazine. 20 feet in the air is no time to be second-guessing your choice in tree stands. But with the new Primal line of stands, you'll never have to worry about comfort or noise. Primal's new Jaw and Truss ladder system gives you an extra firm and quiet attachment, even on irregular trees. The Primal Grip Jaw system features a strong set of jaws so you can securely clamp around the tree. The Backbone Stabilizer Truss lets you connect to almost any healthy tree and eliminates annoying squeaks. With single ladder stands from 16 to 22 feet and double stands up to 18 feet, new Primal tree stands have a model for every hunter. To learn more, check out the website primaltreestands.com. That's primaltreestands.com. Stalk your prey the Primal way with Primal Tree Stands. Food plots are a big deal these days, and nobody knows food plots better than the folks at Michigan-based Killer Food Plots. Company owner Nick Percy has worked hard to develop premier whitetail habitat for almost 3 decades. That experience, combined with expertise in building healthy soil and choosing the right seed, will produce the results you're looking for. KFP's natural-based Groganics Fusion Fertilizer and Retain Moisture and nutrient-absorbing pellets can give you the edge in creating food plots to attract and keep deer on your property. Check out their website, killerfoodplots.com. That's killerfoodplots.com. Killer Food Plots can help you get your soil where it needs to be to produce lots of healthy, great-tasting food for wildlife and cover crops to screen your plots and even direct the deer where you want them. This year, take your food plots to the next level with Killer Food Plots. killerfoodplots.com.
It's a complicated world we live in. Right about now, I'll bet your head is spinning like a tornado with news and opinions and conflicting do this and don't do that recommendations. Some days, you just want to throw up your hands, go to the woods, and stay there. And you know, that's not a bad idea. Jay's Sporting Goods encourages you to get back to your roots. Do some simple, traditional things for a while. In Michigan's great outdoors, space is one thing we have plenty of. So put as much social distance as you like between you and everyone else, including all your social media pals who somehow just recently became experts on every topic. And one more thing. Before you head out, head into Jay's Sporting Goods. Because even though there are shortages of a lot of things these days, Jay's has just what you need to make the most of your escape to our beautiful wide open spaces. It's the gateway to social distancing the way God intended. Jay's Sporting Goods, Clare and Gaylord.
Hey, you like to hunt for different game in changing conditions, but it can be expensive to buy hunting clothes in every pattern. Well, now there's a way to change your camo without breaking the bank. With VersaSkins, you can buy one set of hunting clothes and change the pattern to suit your surroundings. You can switch from whitetail to waterfowl, blaze orange, and snow camo by just snapping on a new skin. Plus, VersaSkins keep you warm, dry, and protect you from the elements. To learn more, check out the website versaskins.com. VersaSkins, just change the skin for the season you're in.
When you buy a Michigan hunting or fishing license, you're helping to fund conservation efforts across the state. The majority of funding for taking care of Michigan's fish and wildlife comes from you, hunters and anglers, not state taxes. So on behalf of the Michigan Wildlife Council, we'd like to thank you for your part in ensuring that Michigan's hunting and fishing heritage will be here for generations. Learn how the Michigan Wildlife Council promotes the role of hunting and fishing at hereformioutdoors.org.
You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Traverse City on WTCM. That's 580 AM. You can hear us in Lansing on WILS 1320 AM. And north of the bridge in Newberry, WNBY 1450 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by Boning Archery. Michigan-based Boning has been a leader in the archery industry since 1946, and that means next year is their 75th anniversary. How impressive is that? They plan to celebrate in a big way, and I don't blame them. They should be proud of that. Boning was started by Roland Boning, who invented Ferrultite. He was working with Fred Bear. I mean, that's how long Boning has been around. By the way, Boning is a Michigan-based company, and you know I love that. Check out the website, boning.com, BOHNING, boning.com, to check out the different products they make, the different services they have, for both target archers and bow hunters as well. That's boning.com. While you're online, I would ask you to check out my website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com, and head on over to Facebook and check out Savage Dog Outdoors on Facebook. Savage Dog Outdoors, one of the premier Michigan-based predator hunting groups. These guys do a great job. And earlier in the week, last week, they sent me some video of a close encounter that one of their crews had in the UP with a pack of wolves. George Widmeyer is one of the guys behind Savage Dog, and he's with us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. George, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How is your fall going so far?
Awesome. It's a beautiful morning in northern Michigan.
Every morning in northern Michigan in the fall is a beautiful morning.
Yeah, the trees are neon right now. So
aren't they something this year?
Nice.
Man. Yeah. Hey, George, you got a lot of attention with that video you sent me. Why don't you set that up? Tell me what was going on there.
Basically what that was, one of our guys, Ty Jones, he's up in the UP there, and I go up there quite often and hunt with him. He had gotten a call from a farmer up there with some livestock on the property, and he'd been seeing these coyotes. So he called Ty. He says, hey, come on over and get rid of these coyotes. Ty gets over there that evening, and as usual, we run a little bit of coyote vocals in our stands. As soon as he let off that group howl on the caller, he got a response of wolves about a mile off. And the video's about 3 minutes or so long, but it was only about a minute and a half before those wolves that ended up where the video starts. They came from a little over a mile away in about 5 minutes. So here the guys were, they had heat signatures out there. Right away he knew they were wolves. So they started watching them, getting the video, watching them come in. We think it was a group of pups with an adult. And obviously we got that territorial response from them. Them coming in thinking they were coming to run some coyotes off.
And they came in pretty close, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they, I think about 50 yards before the guys hit the flashlights, started waving their arms. You know,
Yeah.
fortunately, we can't take care of them here in Michigan, so that's about the best we can do.
Now, so this is several things about this story very interesting. First of all, the property owner thought he had a pack of coyotes out there.
Right. Yep.
Apparently, he hadn't heard them howl, because once you hear a wolf howl, you know they're not coyotes.
Sure. Yeah, and you know those wolves up there. A lot of times they're quiet. Every once in a while, you hear them.
Yeah.
But if they're in the area, they're claiming that area. You know, they're real territorial, and not much a wolf hates more than a group of coyotes in their area.
That's very interesting, because I've heard this from several predator hunting experts like you, that coyotes and wolves do not get along. So it makes the whole concept of wolves and coyotes interbreeding to make a coy wolf bunk.
Yeah, I don't know about the coy wolf thing. As far as I was always aware that just can't happen. But
yeah, well,
you know, we've shot coyotes up there that it's obvious they've been tangling with the wolves. Big coyotes, mean ones, ones that come in real aggressive. You know, we shot them, and later we find, you know, the wounds from battling with wolves up there. So they're definitely all over.
That video, I had some people say, Avery, those aren't wolves, those are hyenas.
Yeah. Well, that'd be something else to be worried about there, wouldn't it?
That opens up a whole new can of worms.
Yeah. Well, that's you know, it's a thermal image, so some people might not be familiar, and I could see how they could think that, but
so
definitely northern Michigan. I don't know about any hyenas up there.
So the call that you guys was making, was not a distress call of prey. It was a coyote howl.
Correct. Yeah. You know, we've called them in with prey distress, and we've called them in with coyote vocals. Obviously, we're not targeting wolves, but they just happen to be in the area. And like you say, you know, I think, you know, out west they do real good on coyote vocals, trying to call wolves. So it's pretty common.
So this pack of wolves heard that coyote howl, and they said, we're going to put an end to this right now.
That's right. Yep. Here they come. Yeah.
Well, if we can ever, if the feds will ever let us have a wolf hunt to keep that population up there under control, you've got a pretty good technique to help them do that.
Yeah, I think we might have a little success if we ever get an opportunity to hunt them again. You know, we've obviously evolved as predator callers ourselves, and it's kind of a unique opportunity to have wolves in the mix, you know, when I go up there. But obviously they're getting a little overpopulated.
Yeah. Well, it was, I mean, what a great story for your guys to tell, and then to get video of it. You know, it just brings attention to the fact that there are a fair number of wolves up there, and the wolf coyote interaction angle, I think, is pretty cool as well. But let's talk about you guys for a little bit. Savage Dog Outdoors. Who are you guys?
Basically, we're just a Facebook page. A couple of guys. You know, we love killing coyotes. We started, I think it was back in June 2017. And we just wanted to create a platform that we could use and get around and get the word out that we're coyote hunters. And we use it also for our tournament hunting and whatnot too. But it's really kind of opened a lot of avenues for us, you know. We do have regular success, so that definitely helps.
Well, George, let me play devil's advocate here, and you know I'm a big supporter of you guys, but some people will say, well, why are they killing coyotes if they're not eating these things? Why would you hunt something you wouldn't eat?
Well, you know, Mike, I guess there's a lot of reasons. We're mainly keeping them down. We love shooting them. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a riot. Probably one of the biggest rushes you're going to have in the outdoors. Anybody that calls whitetail in or anything like that, you just love something about calling in your quarry, you know, fooling that animal. But you know, we help farmers out. we help landowners out, and we just keep the overall population down. They've said for a long time you'll never kill all the coyotes.
Well, and I don't think you want to, right? I mean, some people don't understand this. It's like, oh, they want to kill all the coyotes. You don't want to kill all the coyotes. You just want to keep them under control.
Exactly. And you know, we could die trying, and it wouldn't happen. And they've proven that out west, you know, year after year. And coyotes, and they have, you know, 6 to 8, 10 pups in a litter. And the more prey around in the area, the bigger the litters will tend to be, and the more females that'll breed. Unlike the wolves, you know, they have one breeding female per pack, so they really only have one litter per pack a year. The coyote, he'll run around and breed a few females, and so there you can see how the population just will blow up over, you know, like time of a year or two.
Are your guys hunting all over the state?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we basically cover, from the Sioux to Indiana line, Ohio line. So we're all over the state, all over the Midwest.
And is there any corner of our state that doesn't have a coyote problem these days?
I don't think so. They're pretty much everywhere. You know, they really are. You have your areas in the state where there's a lot of people, a lot of guys getting into the predator hunting. And they do a good job of keeping them thinned out. And then I guess it'd be hard to say you'd find a real good hot spot these days. So many hunters, and being the fact that they're spread out the way they are.
Because there are so many hunters and coyote hunting has become so popular, are the coyotes, and I forgive me for putting it this way, but are the coyotes getting smarter? Are they getting harder to hunt? In
areas, definitely. And I think, too, with the guys keeping them down, what you're seeing is actually Mother Nature trying to compete with us, too. So there's areas, Mike, that I've got that I've literally killed 100 coyotes out of in 3 years.
Wow.
You know, and we go in there once a month and we'll pull 2 or 3 out, you know, or once a week for that matter. But areas, you know, and we're talking maybe 10 square mile areas with 50 to 100 coyotes in the last 2 years coming out of there. So they definitely tend to hold their ground.
And we don't see them just in big woods these days. We don't see them in farm fields. They're pretty, I was talking about adaptable wildlife earlier. I mean, coyotes are adaptable. They'll show up anywhere.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we've seen pictures of them standing on the fences in the subdivisions, you know, looking around for pets in the backyard.
Looking around for Fifi.
Yeah. I mean, walking right down the sidewalk sometimes. So.
Yeah. All right, George, listen, hang tight. I got to take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine show, but I want to talk more about predator hunting, coyote hunting, and Savage Dog Outdoors. We're talking with George Widmeyer of Savage Dog Outdoors. You can find these guys on Facebook. Check out the latest video, or one of the more recent videos they posted. You can also find it on my Mike Avery Outdoors Facebook page. It shows the situation George is talking about. It's thermal images after dark of a pack of coyotes, one big coyote, a pack of wolves, one big critter coming into within 50 yards of the hunters before the hunters put an end to it. Not by shooting them, of course, just by scaring them off. So we'll talk more with George after the break right here on Outdoor Magazine. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Alpena on WZTK, that's 105.7 FM. You can hear us in Caro on WKYO 1360 AM and WIDL 92.1 FM. And you can hear us in Marquette, WDMJ 1320 AM. The segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by the Linwood Beach Marina and Campground. Linwood Beach can be your year-round Saginaw Bay fishing destination in your Mid-Michigan Tracker and Angler Quest headquarters. And if you're looking to put the boat to bed for the winter, the folks at Linwood Beach can help you out as well. They can winterize your boat. the oil change and make sure there's no water in there, and just get you ready for next spring. They can shrink wrap your boat, and they can store your boat as well. And if you're not ready to put the boat away, Linwood Beach will keep the ramps open as long as Mother Nature allows for fall fishing and waterfowl hunting. And if we get ice, they're a great jumping off point for Saginaw Bay ice fishing as well. Check them out online at linwoodbeachmarina.com. That's linwoodbeachmarina.com. While you are online, head over to Facebook and check out Savage Dog Outdoors. Savage Dog Outdoors, a group of Michigan-based predator hunters. These guys have it dialed in. George Widmeyer is one of the guys, and he's with us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. And these days, George, it seems to me you guys are doing almost all of your hunting after dark, aren't you?
Yeah. Randy Booty, he definitely is a dedicated night hunter. Myself as well. I definitely do get my daytime hunts in, though. Matter of fact, I had one skirt around me last weekend during the afternoon. So what?
So the difference in philosophy. I mean, to be honest, most people, unless they're hardcore and have the thermal imaging and the lights and stuff, it'd be a lot easier just to go out and coyote hunt during the day.
Sure. Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So how do we get started?
I guess you need a good, accurate rifle. That's the biggest thing with coyotes. They're a small target. But we use electronic call, and, you need to get their attention. So you'd have to have yourself at least some calls, hand calls, or caller, and property. Really, if you really want to figure out coyotes, obviously you don't give up when it gets tough, but a lot of property, and I see that's where a lot of guys miss out, is just going around knocking on doors, seeing if they can get permission to hunt and find coyotes.
I would suspect property owners are more likely to let a coyote hunter out there than they are, say, a deer hunter.
Yeah, and in that same regard, we pick up a lot of deer hunting property through our coyote hunting too. So it's amazing to me how many farmers are out there that need help with their deer. So there's always those opportunities as well.
Well, and if somebody needs their wildlife population thinned out, you guys at Savage Dog are more than eager to help.
Absolutely, you bet. I know Randy, he definitely does a lot of doe management for a lot of farmers around him, and I think he's pretty well geared on that for the season now. But yeah, we're more than willing to help out landowners, farmers.
Do you guys predator hunt right on through the deer season?
Absolutely, yep. I sure do. Matter of fact, the 4 days of the quiet time, if you will, I believe it's November 10th through the 14th, rimfire only is the rule. And I keep my old 17 setting aside just for that. So those 4 days are even out there.
Well, and that 17 for a while was the go-to gun for predator hunters, but you guys have really moved on and gotten high tech these days, it seems. Especially especially with opening up rimfire, center fire after dark.
Exactly. Yup. We can thank Bob Abbott and his crew for getting down in front of the state there and getting that law passed. Really opened up a big industry in Michigan. A lot of people have gotten involved, and it's kind of spread like wildfire, to be honest.
You were talking about coyotes being a target that's not real big. How big is the average Michigan coyote?
On average, you're probably 30 pounds. A big one's running 35, and we call them a giant anytime they're about 40 or over. So, biggest coyote I've ever killed was 56 pounds.
Oh, that's big.
That was one, and I haven't shot anything close to that size since. So,
and they look bigger. I think it's because, especially in the cold months, all that fur around them.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely get a good coat on them for the winter.
So, George, listen, I appreciate you making that video available. It got a lot of attention, a lot of interest, and a lot of positive interest in the wolf situation in the UP and predator hunting in general. And I think you guys are very good at that, bringing good, positive exposure to coyote hunting and predator hunting, because you guys are some of the best out there in Georgia. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it as well, Mike. We just like to be able to show what we do, a lot of people are interested in it, and just kind of puts a smile on our face when we can bring something that people can stir over, a little bit. And with the wolves in the UP, I think we need to get a push to try to get at least some management control up there before they turn into be a threat,
Yeah, it's all in the hands of the feds. George, listen, I appreciate you joining us. You can see what these guys are up to online. Go to Facebook and search Savage Dog Outdoors. There you'll learn more about the group, more about the guys behind it, and some very, very cool video they shoot of their hunts as well. We'll take a break. When we come back, Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze talking about how Speedy Blaze, you might want to have it in your boat and your car and your camper and everything else, and he'll tell us why after the break right here on Outdoor Magazine.
At Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, and Caro, we're better for a reason. Like Garber's low price guarantee. Get incredible everyday low prices on a new Chevy Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, or Trax. Think you found a better deal somewhere else? Bring it to us, and we will beat it. Getting more options and choices is always better. That's the benefit of having the Great Lakes Bay region's largest inventory of new Chevrolets. When you shop Garber Chevrolet, you won't have to shop around to find exactly what you're looking for. And Garber Chevrolet's award-winning customer service is in a class of its own. Your needs will always come first. Better prices, better selection, and better service. There's a reason why you'll do better at Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, and Caro. Home of the low price guarantee. Chevy, find new roads and find a better deal online at GarberChevrolet.com.
You'll do better at Garber.
Have you tried the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks from Michigan Brand Meats? They feature two of my favorites, elk and pepper, and I think they taste great. I've been working with the Grillo family of Michigan Brand for a few years now, and I couldn't be happier. Michigan Brand is family-owned and based right here in Michigan, and they make lots of great products. From jerky, sausage, and those Hunter Sticks to their famous Michigan Brand hams, you can't go wrong with Michigan Brand meats. Plus, Michigan Brand can process your boned-out wild game, too. Check out the website, MichiganBrand.net, for more info. That's MichiganBrand.net. You can buy the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks on that website. Plus, you can get them at Jay's Sporting Goods, all Forward convenience stores, Jack's Fruit Markets, and many other great stores, too. There's a complete list on the website. Again, that's MichiganBrand.net for the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks, the outstanding Michigan Brand hams, and lots more. MichiganBrand.net. We spend a lot of time thinking about our next outdoor adventure, where we're heading, and what we're going to do. But I bet most of us don't spend much time thinking about our financial institution. At Security Credit Union, they love to work with sportsmen and women, hunters, anglers, shooters, trappers. Security Credit Union has a program for you. With 11 branches in 10 counties, plus online banking from anywhere, Security Credit Union could be your perfect financial partner. They offer financing for RVs, ATVs, cabins, hunting property, and just about anything else you need for your next outdoor adventure. And to make it even better, you can apply online. Check them out at securitycu.org. That's securitycu.org to learn how Security Credit Union can work for you. Again, check out securitycu.org. That's securitycu.org. Federally insured by the NCUA. The folks at Yider Insurance Group know you have lots of money invested in your hunting and fishing gear, and they want you to be protected. The Yider family has been in the insurance business for more than 75 years, and they build a reputation for taking great care of their customers. As a full-service agency featuring auto owners insurance, Yider can insure your fishing and hunting gear, your boat, snowmobile, ATV, and trailer, just about everything you depend on for your outdoor adventures. Yider also specializes in protecting outdoor-related businesses.
resources, from fishing guides to shooting ranges, anything for the great outdoors. The folks at Yider can help you because they're hunters and anglers themselves, and they know what we need from an insurance company. For more info, go to their website, huntingandfishinginsurance.com. That's huntingandfishinginsurance.com. Or call them toll free at 800-975-6473. I trust the Yider Group and auto owners for all my insurance needs. Because with Yider and auto owners, you've got friends in the outdoor insurance business.
You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Battle Creek on WBCK. That's 95.3 FM. You can hear us in, let's go to Manistee, WMLQ 97.7 FM. And north of the bridge, let's go to the Sioux, ESPN 1400 WKNW. This segment of Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by the Hunter Safety System. I would not go up a tree without a full body harness on, and I would encourage you to do the same. Two types of tree stand hunters, those who have fallen and those who will. But if you're tied in with a lifeline and a full body harness, you're not going to fall to the ground. If you don't like Hunter Safety System for some reason, and I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't, use somebody's full body harness. I like Hunter Safety System. Their vests have come a long way because they're no longer vests. They're now just easy to put on harnesses. They give you a sense of security and safety that cannot be, you can't put a price on it. And the price of the vests and the harnesses is pretty reasonable. Check them out online, huntersafetysystem.com. That's huntersafetysystem.com. While you're online, head on over to speedyblaze.com as well. Speedy Blaze, this company I've been talking about for a while now, it's a safe, clean, insect-resistant, water-resistant alternative to firewood. And now I'm finding out maybe should be in your emergency kit, your go bag, your survival bag as well. Ed Bolanowski from Speedy Blaze to talk more about that. Ed, welcome back. How have you been?
Mike, great. It's always great to talk to you.
Yeah, same here. You told me a story last week, though, about some duck hunters who got into a bad situation and Speedy Blaze to the rescue. Tell us more.
Yeah, so, as hunters, especially this time of year, we're always putting ourselves in harm's way, whether it's, like right now you got duck season going on, you've got, like up by me, salmon are still in the river, guys are, bow hunting is raging. So we're always out in the woods and we're in some degree of peril. So I had a guy that I knew and I'd given him some Speedy Sparks here a few months back, and he put them in his boat. And his son actually had fallen in the water while they were duck hunting, and they were a ways away from the closest car or road. So, of course, now he's soaking wet, and it was cool I think it was 2 weeks ago. So he said he thought about those sparks, and they just went over to the shore, cleaned some area off, lit the Speedy Spark with some brush around it, and started a little fire so he could at least warm them up. And it got me thinking, and I talked to you about, as a safety aspect, it's easy to throw those Speedy Sparks in your backpack or, they're in a resealable bag. Throw them in the boat in case you need them sometime. They will start, as you know, they'll start anywhere at any time. Whether they're wet or not, doesn't matter. And, it's a great thing to have. All you need is either a match or a lighter. You're going to get that going. Even if it's wet, it'll dry the kindling so you can get a fire going. It's just a nice little inexpensive thing that you can throw in your pack or throw in your boat that might come back to save your life someday.
So what is the Speedy Spark? And I mean, how is that different than the Speedy Blaze?
So the Speedy Blaze hardwood briquettes are basically solid wood, and then we coat them with our patented sealer process. The starters, the sparks are a mixture of our same wood fiber, so it's still that 6% kiln-dried wood fiber, but then it's mixed with a wax to make it water-resistant and to give it some structure. But as you know, you've used them with the kits. All it takes is a match or a lighter. You light the corner, and it's going to burn for about 10 minutes.
Oh, I got you. The Speedy Sparks are the fire-starting, the little fire-starting cubes that come in the Speedy Blaze packages.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So as you know, it's small. Doesn't take up a lot of space. Again, you can throw a couple in a backpack. We've had people use them, in 8,000-foot elevation down to sea level. They are going to start. And if you need a fire, look, let's face it, nobody carries around newspaper. And, if you get in the woods and it's wet or it's wintertime, you're not going to find some dry kindling to start a fire. This is going to be a guaranteed fire.
And you know what? I think this is a great idea because a lot of people, myself included, do throw a lighter in your backpack in case, you get in trouble and you need a fire. But this takes it to the next step, and it makes it a lot easier for anybody to make a fire.
I always tell people, nobody buys the newspaper anymore. Very few people buy the newspaper anymore. In our day, you always had newspaper laying around at home. Mm-hmm. Nobody, but I'm not burning my iPhone, and that's where I get my news from.
Another good point, Ed. Well, listen, you know what? I appreciate you bringing that up because I hadn't thought of that before, and I will now throw a couple of those in my backpack as well. Real quick before we let you go, though, you guys are, pun intended, you guys are on fire. You're growing like crazy right now.
It's definitely moving. It's been a lot of hard work. We've been 2.5 years kind of pushing this uphill, but we've really reached the point now where it seems like every day I'm getting a call from one of our sales reps letting me know that, there's 100 new stores coming online, or I had one girl call me, she had 168 stores that just signed up to sell Speedy Blaze and Speedy Sparks in their stores. So, it's definitely getting easier and easier to find, especially east of the Mississippi. So we're just keep banging away at it and spreading the news, and we appreciate, companies like you, people like you out helping us spread that news.
Well, and you can get them at Jay's, you can get them at Forward Corp, you can buy them online at SpeedyBlaze.com. And quite often we give away Speedy Blaze on Wednesday Night Live. So Ed Bolanowski and Sherm Hubbard of Speedy Blaze appreciate that very much. The website, SpeedyBlaze.com, SpeedyBlaze.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, Mike Stewart talking about hearing loss and shooting. What? I can't hear you.